Здравствуйте всем, привет всем. Здравствуйте, здравствуйте. Да не спал я. PowerPoint. Должен быть. Ну в пуске посмотри. В пуске все программы просто посмотри и все. А вот за чапсиками сходил я. Что-то чапсиков захотел. Что? Ясно ему. Дурак. Смотри, что еще есть. Який смачний. Да. Ну да, ну рэпси, ну и что? Рэпси и чепсики. Что еще надо для счастья? Так, пойдем вот это расследовать. Нужно переодеться в полицейского. Вот так.
Simply the finest clothes for the
Что за
finest
попкорн?
citizens.
Вот такие надо.
A perfect choice.
И сюда. А, готовый. Это который мы раньше типа брали, что ли? Или это другой? По-моему, не микс бар был. Вот шоколадный, помню, в магните был классный вообще. Балдерный. И карамельный тоже там. Но я не помню, это, по-моему, не микс бар был. А где эта тварь сидит?
What a long day.
Сюда? Вот это?
Is this familiar to you? Oh, I don't know about that. Ask one of the others.
Мармеладки, кстати, да, в пятерочке вот бывают часто. Но я помню, в Магните был классный попкорн, блин, вообще балдеж.
Excuse me, but are you Mr. Capello? My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm hoping you could spare a moment to talk.
Manners, what a pleasant surprise. Most of your colleagues have lacked even the simplest of common courtesies.
You're a suspect, sir, but not yet a criminal. I shan't treat you as such. Your case is refreshingly unusual, and I wish to get to the bottom of it.
Manners and enthusiasm. Huh. May you go far, young man. What can I help you with?
Какие чапсики. Женатик. Лейс. Рифленый, естественно, сметанный лук. Какие еще? Мне кажется, он методичный.
You are surprisingly composed for a man accused of murder. Not so easily shaken, I take it.
Life is full of surprises. You'd be astonished how many deals go sour due to a force majeure. One becomes skilled at adapting. I am confident this will all be set straight. Until then, I will endure.
Much how you endure that injured hand. Those bruises look painful, but you seem barely aware of it. Were you attacked?
Ah, no. A minor accident, nothing more. My heady days as a man out to prove his valor are far behind me. I now know that to succeed in life, one must stay calm and plan ahead. The world will turn your way eventually. And if it does not, then one must persuade it so.
Please, tell me how you ended up in this situation.
Well, this morning some clients arrived to finalize their purchase of a Capello modular safe. But when we opened the door, out tumbled a dead man.
And I take it this wasn't normal.
No, I normally keep my corpses in the wardrobe. Please, young man, spare me your wit. The rest of the day was a blur. I recognized the victim, and it seemed so did the police. That was enough to make me the main suspect.
Who sent for the authorities?
No one. As it happens, we had a break-in last night. Nothing was stolen, but for insurance purposes, the report had to be made. So, police officers just happened to be on the premises when we discovered the body in the safe.
You mentioned you were showing your wares to some prospective buyers when the safe was opened. Who were they?
Clerks from the bank. They inspected the safe from top to bottom yesterday. I assumed the sale was just a formality at that point.
And the safe was closed?
It's usually open, but it locks automatically when the door swings closed. That's another marvelous Capello invention.
A coffin that locks itself. Marvelous indeed.
Может, он типа залез в сейф спрятаться, но не смог из него выбраться из-за того, что дверь закрылась, и в итоге он сам сдох. А хотел там грабануть, например, этого мужика.
Help me grasp your movements yesterday. What time?
Мне кажется, так.
Yesterday,
Простейшее дело,
the
решил
bank
еще
clerks
до
arrived
8
at 10 a.m. Afterwards, I was alone in the office until my wife Augusta came in at 3 p.m. I left for home at 6:30 p.m.
And what about this morning?
Our meeting for the demonstration was set for 9 a.m. I arrived about half an hour prior in order to prepare.
I have one final inquiry. Do you recall the time at which the safe door was closed?
Young man, I may just as well ask you when you closed your cigar case. I have opened our safes a dozen times a day for a dozen years. I do not recall.
You say you became the suspect when the police identified the victim. Is there history between you?
Surely you jest. That man and I have never met and never would, unless he became the first deity in history to use our products.
Some sort of family feud? I'm afraid I'm not familiar.
You must be new to Godona. It's an old tale. Back in Italy, generations ago, the deities tried to ruin our family business. They nearly succeeded. The Capellos rightfully struck back, but there has been bad blood ever since.
And does that blood flow in you too?
I told you, sir, it's an old story, or it was. I fear this horrible event portends worse to come. My wife may be in danger.
I'd like...
I'm not sure I see the connection, but if you wish to know more, talk to Billy Lloyd, the night watchman. He scared off the thief.
Was it also Billy that discovered the burglar?
No, my wife did. She had stayed late yesterday. Poor Augusta. At least she's safer with the police than at home alone.
Well, Mr. Capello, I think that's all I need from you at present. Where can I find your office?
Here, take my card. Billy should be on site to assist with the investigation. And please, sir, would you check on my wife before you depart?
Thank you. I will endeavor to speak with her before I leave the station.
Please, treat her gently. Women lack our resilience when it comes to ordeals like this. I shall eagerly await your return. After all, little else I can do.
Угу. Что мы имеем? А, то есть я должен все дело притворяться полицейским. Я понял. Так, надо поговорить с женой. Его.
Come on, Sherry. Say, I am the law.
Mrs. Capello, please wait in the office. The inspector will be here soon.
Вот она. Да.
You must be the inspector.
Would you be Augusta Capello?
Must I really repeat myself to every baby-faced man in uniform that strides in?
Forgive me, I am not the inspector, but I am working on your husband's case.
Then I have nothing to say to you. Come back with the inspector in charge so that we may dispense with the endless repetition.
Ага, наркоманка вонючая, смотри на нее. Осуждаем такое. Впечатлительно, наверное.
Whilst I prefer German composers, the harp solo from Lucia di Lammermoor stands out as one of Donizetti's finest contributions to the form. I'm sure Basilio thought the same.
He did. How? Did he tell you how we met?
Oh, there was no need. It is trivial to observe how much you value your memories of playing harp in the orchestra, and even an amateur Italian harpist would be familiar with Donizetti's finest work.
Yes. Music is a balm in these uncertain times. It is nice to meet another who appreciates it.
Much as I appreciate the truth. Please, Mrs. Capello, let me help you and your husband.
I am not unappreciative, sir. But I'm afraid I presently lack the strength.
Basilio tells me you were present during the burglary yesterday. What can you tell me about it?
Oh, it gave me such a fright. I fainted, fell to the floor. I wish I could help you, but, I'm just utterly useless. Please, I want to rest before the inspector arrives.
Were you familiar with the deceased man found in the safe?
No, I did not know him, nor can I conceive of how the poor soul ended up there.
You've had quite the day, Mrs. Capello.
А если реально попробовать в инспектора переодеться? Так, смотрю, у меня есть шляпа инспектора. Сейчас очки сделаем. Бороду. И старый грим. Во, ля, по инспектор. Здравствуйте.
Please let me rest.
Ясно. Так, с кем надо поговорить? А, с ночным сторожем Билл Ллойд. Мастерской Капелла. Адлер-стрит. Ага. Востоку. Собора. Так, смотри, Скаладио, собор к востоку на Адлер-стрит. Соответственно, это где-то здесь.
What's up?
Вот она. Мастерская Капелла. А нет. Это? А нет. А, вот это. Бля, какие сейфы.
Hello there. They sell door
Hello
locks,
there.
padlocks. No Sherlocks though. Probably for the best. Imagine dealing with two of you. Ugh.
Ill-fitting pants, wonky nose, and hair that appears to have been cut by your own hand. You must be Billy Lloyd.
Oh, it's you! I knew you'd come.
You did?
You're Mirko Gallia, the best investigative journalist on Cordona. I'm a fan of your work.
Alas, you're mistaken. The name is Sherlock Holmes, and your employer...
Oh, of course. Discretion. I'm sorry. I doubt the policeman upstairs heard me, though, so your secret is safe with me, Sherlock.
Mr. Capello told me you were present during the burglary and scared the criminal off the property.
Hey, you should have seen it. As soon as the burglars saw me, they went white as death. Ran out the back door of the office. I heard a thud and cat shrieks, so I think they went over the railing and into the bushes out back. Clearly, my reputation precedes me. Mr. Capello was so proud.
You regard, but you didn't give chase.
Well, by the time I made it outside, they were miles away. So I went back to help Mrs. Capello. That kind of gentlemanly courtesy is why I'm so well regarded round these parts.
What did the thief look like?
Shorter than me, mid-20s, a huge scar across the right cheek going from the eye. Short hair. She didn't look like a ghost. Too corporeal.
Hold on. She? You didn't think to mention the burglar was a woman?
Why did you assume it was a man? It's the 19th century, sir. Ambitious young women are out there pursuing a career, and I, for one, encourage it.
Yes, yes, spare me the sermon. When did the burglary happen?
Oh, after 10 in the evening. I was just talking to Mrs. Capello.
Does she normally work this late?
No, it's the first time it happened. Usually I'm alone at night. I was explaining to Mrs. Capello how drinking water every 3 hours can help with digestion, when she excused herself and went back upstairs. Then there was a scream, and I ran up to the office, and...
I know what happened next, thank you. What about last evening? Do you have any more details about the break-in?
Of course. I write down everything that happens during my watch. Take a look.
Fastidious in its mundanity, but I will make of it what I can. I must go and inspect the crime scene. If I have further questions, Mr. Lloyd, I will find you.
Oh, don't worry. I won't be able to keep away.
Right.
Так. Ну, пошли осматривать. Ага. Ну, типа он реально закрыл сам себя в сейфе, вон. Аж следы
Blood on
царапины.
the safe door could have been left by the victim.
И задохнулся, наверное.
Bruises, torn
Ладно, теория
nails,
строит
bleeding was
разум.
severe and continued at length. Bulging veins, cyanosis, bloodshot eyes, odd foaming in the mouth. Clear indications of blunt trauma, possibly inflicted before the victim was in the safe. Clothes are not fully buttoned. Was the victim dressing or undressing? What a rotten way to die.
Yeah, what a shame.
Wouldn't want to be in his shoes. I'm a bit claustrophobic.
The bottle is half empty. A wine, well enjoyed.
Так, а что третье? Ага, смотри, второй бокал спрятан.
Recently used, but why would it be here?
Oh, why do I get the worst jobs? Oh, actually, no.
Do you know anything else about the dead body in the safe?
Well, there is the rule of threes. You can survive 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, 3 hours in harsh weather, and 3 minutes
Of you talking?
without air. I'm sorry, did you say something?
No, very enlightening, Mr. Lloyd, thank you.
I know of it, but forgot. I don't know. Not really. She talks to me more when I start my shift. Probably because of the 100 Best Curry Recipes book I'm reading. Oh, and we've been running out of paper a lot lately, so she often sends me out to buy more for her. She's very particular about the paper we use. Only one store on the island stocks it, and it's on the other side of the town. But I'm really fast.
Походу,
Interesting,
любовник,
thank you.
короче, там был.
Oh, actually, no.
What can you tell me about Mr. Capello?
He's a good employer, but very focused on work, and very serious about security, of course, since he employed a night watch of my caliber. Not everyone appreciates his strict business approach, though. Store clerks don't seem to last long in the office.
Good to know.
Прекрати. Не прекращу. Уже каждый что делать. С собой она делает ее на цыпочках ходить. С собой делать она ничего не делает. Я не об этом, а о том, что не надо мне говорить, что мне надо делать.
Oh, why do I get the worst jobs?
Почему ты с тобой разговариваешь? Я что? Я в зал не имею права заходить.
Two theatre tickets for Shakespeare's Othello. The performance is tomorrow.
Huh, after a...
A concert programme from 7 years ago. An Augusta La Duca is listed as a harpist in the orchestra.
Ключи.
He clearly needs a better work-life balance.
Угу.
Well-organised workplace?
Mr. Capello is the best.
Okay.
Ты за мной везде ходить, что ли, будешь?
Do you know whose keys these are?
Probably Mr. Capello's. Police took him so suddenly. I have the same set, but it's more efficient. Has fewer keys.
So you don't have access to the entire office?
No. Only Mr. and Mrs. Capello have the key to the back door. I know of it, but forgot.
Do you know anything about these entries?
No. But Mr. Capello is so well organized. I use a different method. Very popular among the Buddhist monks. You create an attic in your mind and...
I'm familiar. Keep it tidy, put only necessary information in, remove unnecessary information regularly.
What? No, it's called an attic. You just stuff it with everything. You never know what might prove helpful someday.
That is profoundly upsetting.
Да, концепция фигня, я бы сказал.
Do you know what this note might be about?
I cannot presume to know another's mind, of course, but... I think Mr. and Mrs. Capello have been having some familial difficulties. Probably due to their lack of children. One of my oldest friends helps couples with their relationship troubles, and he always says...
You don't have to continue.
Oh, well, he says that to me as well, but I'm perfectly happy to.
No, I insist.
Ага, это что, у нас перила поломаны? таблички.
Passe muraille. Walk through walls in French. Our thief seems rather arrogant. The letter F is inscribed within a four-leaf clover pattern. A comprehensive set of lockpicks, recently cleaned with no fresh scratches.
Ага, надо почитать, значит, архивы исследовать, посмотреть, что там про клевер с буквой «Р» будет.
Don't forget about the cats in the bushes, Sherry.
Наверное, это полицейский архив. Попробуем сначала. Так, смотри. Кражи, подозреваемые. Вот. Ясно, девка, негр. Ну, типа, ладно. Дворовые парни. Убежище банды расположено на Клей-стрит, в центре шахтерского предела. Так, получается, ищем Клей-стрит.
Maybe it would be wise to take a look around outside before we enter.
Где осмотримся? В смысле? И что я должен сделать? Хм. Типа...
Just a thought.
Где тут? Что значит подготовиться к схватке? Так, Клей-стрит в шахтерском пределе. Это вот здесь, да? Угу. То есть...
Other gangs are planning an attack on the backyard, boys. The pipe.
Какие трубочнику нужны сведения, где их добыть?
Other gangs are planning.
Market Road. Ага, агент-попрошайка, то есть нужно переодеться в попрошайку.
Buy some clothes and help me. Step right up. I hope you'll be comfortable in it.
Вот, пожалуйста. Попрошайка, попрошайка. Market Road. Смотри, Market Road нужен. Вот здесь получается. Трубочник. Это какой-то хромой мужик. Так, ищем, получается, на рынке хромого мужика.
Headless eels floundering. Friedrich Panther. The cheapest news on the island.
Ого, сколько новостей собралось.
Thank you.
Ну, это все из предыдущих заданий, короче. Так. Где-то по вот этой улице, получается, Market Road, должен быть попрошайка.
May I ask you something?
I am not interested in your stories.
Buy some clothes and help me feed my family.
Вот это?
Despite being used, these
А, нет,
goods
это
are still
торговец. Вот это,
fine.
да? Скорее всего, смотря.
Take a look.
Хромает на левую ногу, да.
Hello, mister. I've got some information for you. Heard you were asking.
Have you now? Well, let's hear it.
Ага. И что это значит?
All of them bandits are getting ready for a bruising. Sticks and guns and angry faces all round.
I see. Better get the boys ready. Take this for your trouble.
Oh, thank you kindly, sir. Thank you.
Now we can get all of you at once.
О,
Be ready.
типа мы сейчас сразу две банды схватим, да? Вместо того, чтобы одна. Могли как бы вообще избавиться от охраны, но теперь будем с двумя сразу сражаться. Так, а рынок у нас... Ой, не рынок, а этот... Убежище Клей-стрит. Ага. А, ну да, это мы находились. Так, обратно в полицейского. Переодеваемся. И погнали мочить козлов. Понять бы еще, где только их убежишь. Так. Убежище банды расположено на Клей-стрит в центре шахтерского предела. Мужики, где у вас убежище?
That's me creed.
Да ладно, сам найду. Угу. На Клей-стрит, то есть где-то вот здесь, да? Ага, вот это, смотри. Дворовые парни. Все. Сейчас будет буча.
Coming for you.
Take a rest, my friend. Don't bother moving. You've lost. Too simple.
I couldn't miss the party.
Trying to knock this guy out.
Don't cry, you'll give him the pepper stuff.
I'm coming for you.
Take a rest, my friend.
I'm coming for you.
Too simple.
Давай, давай, давай. Подойди.
Take a rest.
The snuff's ready.
Так, а вот этого маска.
I can overcome the brood now.
No more crime for you, and
give him the pepper snuff.
Нифига патронированный дядя. Ай-яй. Это, судя по всему, главарь был.
Don't bother moving. You've lost.
Да.
Okay, I give up.
Все, поймали. Не верш.
And here we are, Miss Sevigny. A place where we can talk about all your recent activities. We have a nice profile on you, you know.
What are you talking about? I didn't do anything.
Is there nothing you didn't do, Miss Sevigny? Thieve for the gang, break into the Armor Capello office, kill Niccolo Detti?
What? Kill? I didn't kill nobody. No, how?
So you admit the rest. I suppose you won't mind explaining some things to me then.
Осмотрим ее. Страшная. Короче. Угу, то есть кошки в кустах были.
You were in the Armor Capello office yesterday evening, Miss Sevigny. The same place that Niccolo Detti was found dead today. What happened?
How would you know? You can't prove anything?
It's written all over you, Miss Sevigny. I presume you did not intend your evening to end with a fall over the railing and a fracas with felines? Need I continue?
Zut alors! It was just a job, nothing else. I was asked to come. Here, see for yourself. I don't know who hired me, but I think they wanted to pin the crime on me. Poor Niccolo.
When were you offered this job?
Ah, mon Dieu. I don't remember precisely. I think the letter arrived around 9:30 in the evening. It sounded tricky, but the money was good.
And you arrived at the office?
Perhaps 45 minutes later? I am very good, sir. I was in and out in 5 minutes.
I don't like lies.
No, wait. Okay. It took 15 minutes. All right? Still impressive, no?
You knew Mr. Detti, how?
Niccolo and I grew up together. I hadn't seen him in years, then ran into him on the street, smiling with some lovely lady on his arm.
And that was the last time you saw him alive?
Wait, until I found him dead yesterday. That same woman was there, too. It can't be coincidence.
You saw a woman in the office?
Mm-hmm. She started screaming, so I slammed the safe door and ran when I saw a guard coming.
Your thieving days may well be over, Miss Sevigny. Until this matter is resolved, you will remain here. Good day.
Угу. Надо опросить жену еще раз.
What exactly was your relationship with Niccolo Detti?
Who? What are you talking about?
Madam, please, a young woman dedicated to her music and an enthusiastic artist, your marriage to Basilio could not have offered all you needed. And then about 6 months ago, you met Niccolo Detti. There was a spark, you started to see each other. It brought passion back into your life.
How could you?
But your tryst didn't go unnoticed. Felicia Sevigny spotted you with Niccolo, but rather than cease your affair, you took care to avoid the public eye. You started working with your husband at the office and met your lover there in the evening after Basilio departed. Billy would not notice, and you hoped neither would your husband. Do I have this right so far?
Yes. I love Basilio, I truly do. But his first passion is his work. I respect that, but it left me adrift. Niccolo. Oh, sweet Niccolo. He was the man I needed. If he had had any other name, I would have talked to Basilio. But he was a Detti.
And your husband suspected something.
I think he did. He asked questions. Billy's schedule was moved forwards. Yes, he suspected.
And thus we arrive at the heart of the matter. How did Mr. Detti end up deceased in the safe?
I do not know.
Madam?
I don't know anything about his death.
Are you sure this is how you wish to proceed?
It is the truth. Please, just leave me be.
Так, смотри. Надо с мужем, получается, поговорить. Узнать, что он насчет этого думает. Он у нас сидел в тюрьме внизу. Не здесь. А вот сюда.
What a long day.
Вот он.
Were you aware of this, Mr. Capello? Of the relationship between your wife and Niccolo Detti?
Enough! I will not hear it. Augusta is an impressionable woman feeling the stress of this horrible situation. She does not understand.
So, you think...
I think that if you want to help, you should stop bothering my wife and find the criminal responsible.
Ага, стой, я вот эту записку не читал. Это который воровки дали. Может, ее этот нанял? Погибший, который, как его звали?
Not much to say, I'm sorry. Not much to say, I'm sorry.
Mr. Capello, have you anything to say about the burglar's claims?
Not a whit. The woman is a liar and a criminal. I don't give it the slightest credence, and neither should you. I'm afraid I have nothing to add to this. I'm afraid I have nothing to add to this.
Ага, про вот это письмо я не
Not
спрашивал.
much to say, I'm sorry.
I'm interested in some entries in your diary that may prove important. Could you elaborate on these ones here?
Bene, I won't name the detective, but rest assured that is unrelated. He's just one of our clients. And those safe entries are about an interested party who was going to purchase the product. We met yesterday, and today were to finalize the transaction. Alas, that opportunity is no more.
You've been a good help. What was your intent behind this note?
This is private, young man, and hardly relevant.
Its relevance, as it were, remains to be seen.
My wife Augusta joined me in business half a year ago, but works late hours. I worry because I love her. What else do you need to know?
I appreciate your candor.
I'm afraid I have nothing to add to this. Another question? I'm afraid I have nothing to add to this. Not much to say.
Да про
I'm
что его
sorry.
еще спросить?
Not much to say. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I have nothing to add to this. Not much to say. I'm sorry.
How long have you known your wife, Mr. Capello?
How is that relevant, young man?
Please, I need a complete picture of all the parties involved. Consider, perhaps, the possibility that the burglar was targeting your wife.
It seems unlikely, though if a Detti was out to threaten my wife. We met 7 years ago. Augusta was a harpist with an Italian orchestra. The passion in her eyes back then. I am glad she still has some of it now.
And you and your wife get along well?
I love her most dearly, and I know Augusta loves me. I fear someday she may be bored at work, but I try to give her all she wants.
I will return.
Ну вот полгода как раз они познакомились. Угу. Что-то мы упустили, вот прям чего-то не хватает. Какой-то ниточки. А где это сидит? Воровка, которая взломщица.
Oh, what a long day.
Что-то я потерял ее. А где она сидит? Куда я увидел? По-моему, она вот здесь была. Нет, стоп.
Apologies.
Блин. Нету.
Oh, what a long day.
Ну и здесь тоже нету. Попробовать, что ли, это обвинить.
It is a shame it has come to this, but it is patently obvious that you are responsible
Типа
for
она его
Niccolo
спрятала в
Detti's
сейф,
How
а он
dare
закрылся.
you? I wouldn't want him to.
I see you need some persuasion. I know that Niccolo Detti went to the office to meet you.
Ага.
It was a midnight tryst. Niccolo would visit the office once Basilio left, but this time he returned. So
Да,
you
да, да,
hid
она его
Niccolo
спрятала,
in
а
the
сейф
safe.
захлопнулся, и типа
A
все.
foolish move.
I didn't know the code had changed. It was the only choice. I couldn't let him be found. I loved him.
Really, you could have saved his life by simply speaking with your husband, but you sought to free him another way.
Угу. Орудие, преступление, сейф.
I don't.
The fact remains you chose to risk Niccolo's life rather.
Подожди, что за бред?
Wait here. It is. I see.
Ага. Нормально, нормально. Все по-новому сделано.
It was really.
Может, проникновение? Типа она открыла сейф? Нет.
Wait here. It is a. I see.
Ну блин, типа, а чё оружием поступило?
It was.
Что послужило орудием преступления?
To free Mr. Detty, you hired Felicia Sevigny, a petty burglar, to crack the safe, and as a result, you killed your lover.
No. It's because the combination had changed. It is not my fault.
You are splitting hairs, Mrs. Capello. The fact remains you chose to risk Nicolo's life rather than call your husband. And I know why.
Мотив, мотив, мотив.
You were afraid how it would affect the reputation of the Capellos, and you feared what your husband would do as a consequence.
He's a good man, but he cares about his business, about the family. It would have destroyed him.
And now he's accused of murder, Mrs. Capello. How considerate of you.
Mio Dio, how did this all happen?
Mrs. Capello, there is a way out of this mess. When the inspector arrives, tell him very little, insist you were with your husband and that he is innocent. But afterwards, you must tell Basilio about Nicolo. You wronged your husband. He deserves the truth.
Perhaps. Yes, I believe you are right. Please give me some time to prepare myself. And thank you.
Goodbye, madam.
I'm behind you with this one. Some people deserve a second chance.
Ну, как я и говорил сразу же, то что он просто захлопнулся в сейфе сам. Пошли вот это делать.
Balance.
Good day, sir.
Merhaba. Good day to be alive.
And, by extension, a poor day to take a bullet. Why are you just standing there?
I came to take the deceased to the cemetery, but caught sight of Mother Nature's bounty and had to drink my fill. You won't mind anyway. Let me tell you, friend. The sweet sea air, the calming whisper of the waves, it's a salve for all ills.
Do you know what happened here?
Officer said there was a duel, shots fired, and then that fellow took his last breath. Reminds me of last year.
So the inspectors have been and gone?
Of course. Police don't let an undertaker do his work before they've finished theirs.
You mentioned a previous incident.
It was in the old city ruins. I remember the deceased was very rich. Front page news, very, very rich he was. But a coin makes a poor shield, as I always say. And who needs it when a view like this is free?
Who died?
Oh, no, mister. It is not my place to say.
Not your place? Nonsense. As you say, he won't mind.
Death with dignity, that's all we can hope for, sir. He doesn't need his name out there.
We're done.
Так, надо будет архив еще раз проверить.
This man is no more. He's ceased to be. He's expired and gone to meet his maker. He's a stiff, bereft of life. He rests in peace. You know the rest.
The bullet entered the heart at an angle, implying it was fired from an elevated position. He died instantly. Predictably, the rumors were exaggerated. The blindfold is intact, with both eyes unharmed. Key for a birdcage?
Ключ.
I'll take it. A Webley top-break revolver. Blank cartridges filled with a wax-covered gelatin bullet. Effectively harmless, even at close range, but leaves a nice red splash on impact.
Это какая-то театральная дуэль была, походу.
The duelist eventually reloaded his gun, but all the cartridges were filled with red non-lethal rounds. A blindfold, discarded or lost. Your opponent was behind you.
А получается, кто-то сверху, возможно, отсюда, застрелил.
You know what? That undertaker has a point. It is beautiful here.
Новый костюм.
Blank cartridges filled with red wax-covered gelatin bullets. Most assuredly non-lethal, if rather theatrical on impact. A case for dueling Webley revolvers. The corner of the box is broken, likely from being dropped.
Клуб слепых дуэлянтов.
Gosh, how exciting. I always wanted to be a member of a club. I bet you couldn't join. No good at following orders, are you, Sherry?
Ah, the contest then. I shall prove my blind devotion, so to speak, to their inane rules, and you shall eat your words.
Смотри. Нужно соблюсти все правила клуба слепых дуэлянтов. Не упоминать о клубе слепых дуэлянтов. Упражняться в стрельбе при любой возможности. Не проливать кровь на дуэлях и собраниях клуба. Ага, вот здесь странное что-то.
Red stains, relatively fresh.
А вот уже...
Lamat revolver, 42 caliber.
Это какой-то лимат, это не лимат, нифига. Это кольт Нави, блин, что за фальшивка?
One chamber is empty, the others are filled with live rounds.
Это не револьвер лима, это вообще. Ясно. Не разбираются в оружии совершенно. Угу. Но этого подстрелили, да. Этот пытался стрелять в этого. Да. Следы куда, потому что ведут. Не, ну такого точно не было. Ну да, вот так. Ага. А получается судья, что ли, туда пошел? Да. И судья стрелял вот отсюда. Да?
The victim was killed by someone up on the wall. It may have been the referee who took advantage of the duelists while they were blindfolded. This seems plausible, but I must consider all options. What if there was another person here?
На, другую версию типа попробуй, да? Возможно. А это был какой-то посторонний чувак. Но с другой стороны, зачем арбитру подниматься наверх, если он мог вблизи застрелить спокойно? Так, надо в архив сходить. Почитать. Сейчас я... газету. Это был прошлый год. Старый город. Вот.
Sometimes I think beauty can blind. Did he see it all around him, do you think? Before he covered his eyes and drew it.
Can we please leave the nattering behind?
Oh, friend, relax. Life's too short to be short with people.
Enough tomfoolery.
I told you that's his business, not yours. Two men duelled, one man died. When you hit a rock, stop.
Вонючий гробовщик не хочет ничего говорить.
Doesn't ring a bell.
There is more to this case than meets the eye. The victim fell not to his dual opponent, but a hidden marksman in the ruins. Abandon your oversimplistic ideals and tell me the name of the deceased so his killer can be caught.
Ah, that is wrong, to be sure. Okay, the man's name was Eric von Staub. I heard the officers say that he lived in Scaladio.
At last. You may return.
Так, первое правило соблюдено, то есть я не упоминал о клубе слепых, упражняться в стрельбе и не проливать кровь. То есть, скорее всего, это будет дуэль, да, какая-то драка, и мне нельзя будет там убивать никого, а вот упражняться в стрельбе, это посмотрим. Так, обратно в полицейский участок. Так, район Скаладио. Жертвы. Во. Эрих фон Штрауб. Кордона, особняк фон Штраубов. Ага, смотри, у него, получается, родители погибли оба в результате дорожного происшествия. Сестра. Угу. Баскервиль-стрит, между Верно-стрит и Бонапарт-стрит. Скаладио. Вот Баскервиль-стрит. Вот здесь.
Extra, extra! Copello walks free! Basilio Copello Interested in some Cordona news?
Ага.
Check the front.
Это вот предыдущее преступление как раз. России.
Front page. You won't regret it.
Вот и особнячок.
Could you help me?
Sir, I don't know. Try asking someone else.
Miss von Staub is awaiting the police, sir. Perhaps you might visit on another day.
Хочешь прикол, да? Сейчас тебе полиция придет. Видите? Я из полиции, здравствуйте.
Good day, officer. Miss von Staub awaits you in her boudoir.
It appears the parents are dearly missed. Our beloved parents, 1875, Baden-Baden. Rest in peace. Only German composers feature here. Good day, miss. I regret to disturb you at this tragic time, but could you spare a moment?
Oh, officer. I've been waiting. Is his body still in that horrible place?
A horrible place? I should introduce you to the Undertaker. But first, you and I shall get to know one another.
Красная краска, кстати, была на месте преступления. Ну да, часто избивали, получается. Может, я типа брат избивал, и она его того.
I am Officer Holmes. I take it you are Magda von Staub, the sister of the deceased?
Oh, pardon me. Yes, I am.
My deepest condolences, Miss von Staub. Your brother's body will be returned to you shortly, as I believe the case will soon be closed. Nevertheless, there remain some formalities requiring attention. May I ask you a few questions?
Oh, if you must. But I'm unsure if I will be of much help.
Forgive my intrusion, but I must inquire about your bruises. Did you take a tumble?
Oh, I have a weak disposition. It is not so bad, but my skin marks more easily than a peach. It is the least of my sorrows.
But, Miss von Staub, I can tell you suffered new bruises even before the old ones had healed.
I have nothing more to add, Officer Holmes. It is what it is.
Do you know if Mr. von Staub had any enemies? Someone that may have sought to do him harm?
Enemies? I don't know. He and I did not discuss such matters, and he was rarely called upon by visitors. My brother's only guests were his friendly contests, but I was not allowed to participate. I merely heard it all from my room.
Contests?
Eric would practice shooting on the patio, and occasionally friends would join him, but I couldn't tell you if they ever argued.
Where were you when your brother died, Miss von Staub?
I was here painting Eric's portrait. My God, you could have asked the servants.
Alas, I needed to hear it from your lips. May I take a look at Mr. von Staub's room? His personal effects may prove invaluable in our understanding of the case.
Please do. Here's the key.
Ага,
Look
а
at
вот
those
здесь можно и
vases, Sherry.
постреляться.
Bet they cost a fortune. Would be a
Как
shame if
раз
someone broke
второе
them.
правило.
Oh, I love it when you're reckless. Were those Limoges porcelain?
You have a keen eye.
Well, I suppose it's yours. Next time, shoot with a blindfold.
Да, второе правило соблюдено. Так, пошли искать комнату этого. Смотри. Мы же находили ключ с птицей, да? А вот с конем еще есть. Пошли-ка с птицей сначала посмотрим. Это, скорее всего, у сестры, да? Да.
An ointment by a doctor. A handsome portrait of Eric. Miss von Staub does have talent. The rounds have been emptied.
А что еще? На картине что-то найти? Да нет, вроде.
The black paint looks thick. It's been mixed with something.
Порох? Хм. А зачем?
Excellent score. She covered the locked windows with paintings, but the atmosphere remains oppressive. Sad home for a young woman. She covered the locked windows with paintings, but the atmosphere remains oppressive. Sad home for a young woman. The end and the beginning. She covered the locked windows with paintings, but the atmosphere remains oppressive. Sad home for a young woman.
Вот и комната этого. ГФФК, знакомые инициалы.
A wealthy man in his 60s. Sir Barnaby Boddington,
Ага, вот он, сэр
1879.
Барнаби, ба-ба-ба-ба. Ага.
A typical crest for a league or a guild. Club headquarters, 190th anniversary celebration.
А вот здесь была коробочка. Да не лима это, ну это не лимат же пистолет. Ну что за бред? Почему они называют это
This
лиматом?
whip is well loved and well used.
Ну вот, пожалуйста, он и избивал его. Ну вот и мотив этот мог убить его за то, что он избивал его невесту, то есть его сестру. Ну-ка, сейчас мы с этой поговорим.
I found burnt letters in your brother's room. I believe they were addressed to you.
To me? From whom?
They appear to be from some of your suitors. Why did you burn them?
I didn't. I didn't even know about them. Eric, he never said a word.
One of the revolver cases in your brother's room is missing. Do you know where it may be?
I'm not permitted in Eric's quarters. I suppose he must have taken it with him. I beg your pardon? I beg your pardon?
It seems you and Mr. Boddington were to be engaged. Were you as thrilled at the prospect as your brother?
Mr. Boddington is not how I had imagined my husband. But it was Eric's choice. I didn't dare dispute it. I beg your pardon?
There is an unfinished portrait of your brother in your room. Beautiful to be sure, but one detail drew my attention. Why did you add gunpowder to your black paint?
You entered my room? I thought you were only inspecting Eric's.
It is standard procedure, Miss von Staub. Now, tell me about the gunpowder.
Eric's art was his shooting, and this painting is my tribute to him. It felt appropriate. We're both artists in different ways. Oh, please, let me mourn my brother.
Надо у слуг поспрашивать, кстати.
Good day, officer. Miss von
Is this
Staub
familiar
awaits
to you?
in her boudoir.
I'll gladly tell you everything I know, officer.
Ага, но надо не уходила, получается. Так. Где искать этот клуб? А, может поспрашивать просто.
Do you know anything about this?
Oh, mister, helping you will be a tremendous honor.
Ага. Особняк какого-то аристократа на юге Гранд-Сарая. Так. Юг Гранд-Сарая. Это вот здесь, да?
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
That's a question I can answer.
Баскервиль-стрит между Солс-Роу и Сайлент-Хилл. Вот. Вот. Точно. Посторонних туда не пускают. Соответственно, надо переодеться вот в такого же. Костюм у нас есть. Лёг какой.
The finest clothes for the finest citizens.
Что еще можно прикупить? Понял.
Of course, think it over. Take your time.
Nice to see you.
Please come in, sir. The gentlemen are waiting for you on the training ground.
Ты дурак, ты что развалился здесь?
Not every manor has a custom floor. The floor is so smooth and slippery. I wonder if I could skate. On it. How often do you think they check the submission box? My application deserves prompt consideration.
Не проливать кровь на дуэлях и собраниях клуба. Ну да, это я знаю. Типа напоминание лишний раз. Ага, то есть револьвер пропал из этого зала, да? Вот на картине похоже на лимат. Да, сейчас будет буча. И никого не надо убивать, это очень важно.
It's the killer. Shake a leg. Get him.
Time to knock this guy out.
No more crime for you until next month.
He's all yours now. Go for it.
Take a rest, my friend.
I'm coming for you.
I couldn't miss the party.
Oh! Don't bother.
The snuff's ready. Give him the pepper snuff.
Too simple.
The snuff's ready. Time to knock this guy out.
I'm coming for you.
Take a rest, my friend.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Don't cry, you'll live.
The snuff's ready.
I'm coming for you.
Take a rest, my friend.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Take this!
How do you do? Don't cry, you'll live.
The snuff's ready.
No more crime for you.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Take a rest, my friend.
Все.
The snuff's ready. I must say, Sherry, that was near perfect. Could it be that you're not completely hopeless?
A nice apricot aroma. Marilyn schnapps, I presume. Half full. 2 glasses with dregs of alcohol. Should I pour us a drink, John?
Ага, третий разбили.
Glass crushed underfoot with damp traces still visible.
С двумя, по-моему, их было не 2. Это вообще не 2. Опять что у нас?
Clever system. The same ingredient was used in the dueling revolver's ammunition. All these places are perfectly secluded, ideal for private duels.
Так я не про это, ты даже меня не дослушала. Ты сказал молодец, хотя это вообще молодец, кто не касается.
Тайная комната.
Who the devil are you? I won't go down without a fight.
Sherlock Holmes, and if I wanted a fight, you would already be on the floor. Fortunately for you, I'm merely here to ask a few questions.
Is that so? Well, come on, pretty boy. How about I fix that nose of yours? Give it a bit more character.
Enough. Your compatriots attacked me and I responded. They still have their lives, unlike Mr. von Staub.
True. At least you are not a murderer. Fine, you may speak.
Не, мне кажется, он был арбитром. Потому что он плохо видит, он бы не попал с такого расстояния.
So, you are Mr. von Kram, one of the club's best shots, the referee of the deadly duel, and witness to Mr. von Staub's murder.
Incorrect. I am the best shot at the club. Heinrich Fürgen von Kram. But how did you know I was there?
Your clothes, Mr. von Kram, the dirt on your trousers confirms your presence in the old ruins. And your jacket features a bloodstain from your attempts to save Mr. von Staub.
That is impressive.
It is merely inferential. Now, a few questions, if I may.
Be my guest. I have nothing to hide.
I'd like to speak with the other competitor.
He left the island. Mr. Dorfman was sure that the killer was after him. He is innocent, I assure you.
Indeed, from his position it would be impossible to fire the bullet at such a downward trajectory, but he was a witness. Shame. So, what transpired in the old ruins?
Everything began as normal. The signatures, choice of weapons. I checked it all, and then blindfolded the duelists. Erich stood to my left, and his opponent, Mr. Dorfman, to my right. Before they could begin, the killer fired. And I'm sure it was not Dorfman.
Why are you so sure?
The sound was different. Not a Webley revolver. And further away. The killer must be an excellent shot to hit the heart.
You said the killer was an excellent shot. Do you suspect someone from the club?
Definitely not. No one from the club would break our rules.
Did you or the other duelist see the murderer?
No. The killer slipped away into the hills, so we turned our attention to Erich. Rest his soul.
And neither of you pursued the culprit?
I will not have my character impugned. We had only blank cartridges and a fallen friend at our feet. He was our focus.
What transpired after the shooting?
I heard Erich cry out and fall. Mr. Dorfman turned and fired at the killer, but I shouted at him to stop and help. It was too late. He was gone. I've never seen this before. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't help you with this. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't help you with this.
You have a nice collection of pistols, Mr. Von Cram.
Ah, a fellow connoisseur of firearms. Did something catch your eye?
What caught my eye is a missing Lamat. Where is it?
Ah, that one. I lost it in a bet. A rare failure of mine.
A bet with whom?
That's private, Mr. Holmes, and unrelated to your investigation. I've never seen this before. I can't help you with this. I can't help you with this. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
It seems you owed Mr. von Staub a small fortune.
A fortune to you, perhaps, but a trifle to me. Our debts ebbed and flowed. In our next contest, there was every chance I would win it back. Eric was too concerned about all that. Frankly, he often lacked the demeanor of a nobleman. His progressive tendencies could be grating. I've never seen this before. I don't know what you're talking about.
Last year, there was a similar incident in which a duelist died. What can you tell me?
A tragedy. I shot too well, and my opponent stumbled from the impact. He slipped and fell down the cliff. I regret it all. I have not participated in a duel since. Instead, I only take the role of a referee and supervise the proceedings for safety. I swore that no other club member would die in a duel. Alas, someone else intervened. I've never seen this before.
As it happens, a Lamat 42 caliber revolver was discovered at the crime scene. You said you were missing a Lamat, yes?
I did, but my Lamat was a 36 caliber.
And you can prove that?
My word is proof enough. If I said it, it is true.
Doesn't appear to be the happiest childhood. Cecilia von Cram with Heinrich, Cologne, 1864. Mein Wunder.
Your ability to perceive the world can be developed with work and concentration.
Recordings labeled in Braille. How to sharpen one's senses. A remarkable tool to conveniently enhance anything. I could use one for my analysis. Addressed to Heinrich von Cram and written with a nervous hand. Arrived just yesterday. You and Eric were competing for the position of honorary consul, yes? Quite the title.
We were, but he stood no chance. Only a true nobleman could take such a role.
Difficult for him to contest it now. There must be more you can recall from the day of the duel.
I wish. My eyes make me a poor witness, I'm afraid.
Yes, your blindness, an affliction since childhood, one presumes. No scars on your face, and you carry yourself with confidence.
I'm starting to see your worth, Mr. Holmes.
But this limitation developed your other senses and made you an excellent marksman. So, tell me, did you notice anything else?
I do recall a floral smell. Something artificial. It was sweet and fresh and came from the direction of the killer. I can't help you with this. I can't help you with this. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen this before. I've never seen this before. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen this before.
Do you recognize this scent?
Yes. This is it. The smell I noticed at the ruins. Where did you get it? Do you know who killed Eric? Tell me his name.
I need to be elsewhere.
Запах лаванды. Ну, получается, да, это сестра была. Где там она жила? Вот здесь, да?
Miss von Staub is awaiting the police, sir. Perhaps.
Блин, полицию нужно.
You might visit on another day. Good day, officer.
Going on a trip, miss?
No, I'm leaving permanently. I am sorry. What do you...
Thank you.
Так, сохранюсь на всякий.
Thank you for...
Да, блин.
I think the time has come to be honest with each other, Miss von Staub. I'll start with my confession. I misled you in our previous meeting. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and I do not work for the police.
What? I don't understand.
In actuality, I was independently investigating your brother's death, and came to an unexpected conclusion.
How? Why?
It was not a tragic accident, miss. It was cold-blooded murder. And I know the culprit.
No. Who is he?
Nice try, but as you well know, I'm talking to the culprit right now.
What? Are you out of your mind?
Certainly not. Allow me to explain how you killed your brother.
Орудием убийства. Пропавший пропавший ящик. Вот.
The missing box in your brother's room contained a Lamat, the same weapon used for the murder. You stole it to kill your brother.
What? No. Eric was obsessed with guns. I bet he simply left that revolver somewhere else.
Yes, it was left somewhere else. The crime scene. Abandoned in panic, a typical feminine response.
No, I've never been to that cursed place.
Когда могли совершить преступление?
You hid behind the wall in the ruins. None of the others present could have killed Eric from that position. Both the duelists were blindfolded, and Mr. von Kram is ill-sighted.
So nobody saw anything? Your imagination has run wild.
Ah, but you forget one thing. A blind man's other senses grow stronger. Mr. von Kram detected a lavender and pine scent. That of your ointment.
You're taking the word of a sightless man. This is monstrous.
Мотив.
cannot endure any more.
All the...
Блин. Нет, нет, нет. Я думал, сожженные письма мотив.
Good day, officer.
I think that my name...
What?
No. The missing...
What? No.
You hid both...
You're taking...
Мотив, мотив, мотив.
It is your brother who was monstrous. He was a tyrant and you could tolerate his abuse no longer.
Living with Eric was a nightmare, yes. But he was my brother.
Now, Miss von Staub, take your time. Tell me the truth.
After our parents died, my life slowly became hell. My brother began to humiliate me. Then he became violent. Each day he'd invent a new punishment. Shut my room, burn my paintings, starve me. And without fail, I would be beaten. All visits were forbidden, all contact verboten. I was his caged bird, his pet. When we did go out, he used me to bait influential people. He sold me to Mr. Boddington simply to earn a place amongst this island's elite.
Was that not freedom from your brother?
He sold me as a thing, sir. Who do you think this gentleman was? I could not endure more cruelty. Mr. Holmes, I'm begging you. Please don't do this to me. Don't throw me from one cage to another.
You have suffered enough, Miss von Staub, but now it is over. I will not turn you into the police.
I don't know what to say. What will happen with the case?
The usual. With their typical stupidity, the inspectors will confidently declare the case a tragic accident, and that will be that.
I didn't expect such kindness.
Kindness? No, where the truth reveals injustice, I expect accountability, but in this matter, Miss von Staub, I see no injustice at all.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. I'll never forget what you're doing.
I am behind you 100%. I'm sure Miss von Staub wouldn't waste the chance for a better life.
I should write a book about the behavior of bees someday.
Ля, это что такое?
What a bizarre object, and yet oddly familiar.
Did you just remember something?
Yes. A room full of curiosities and artifacts. I think I can find it in the manor.
Sherlock.
Oh,
So,
the
you
micro.
continue to pursue the imaginary. I had hoped you might have got all this out of your system by now.
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Get out of my house.
It's my house, actually. I've come to bring you back.
I have no interest in returning, let alone with you. I know you lied about Mother all these years, claiming she was merely ill, but she was unstable. She never had tuberculosis. She was not recuperating, but mentally deteriorating, and you never once thought to tell me. How dare you?
I shall not indulge this petulant tantrum. You can just tire yourself out and then slink back to London with your tail between your legs.
Just tell me everything. I'm an adult now. Show me the basic courtesy of an explanation. You know I will find out eventually.
The goal was stability, and that's what you got. The right thing for everyone was to try and move on from her passing.
The consequences of one's actions determines what is right or wrong.
Yes, exactly. The ends justify the means. After leaving Cordona, Sherlock, you had a normal childhood. In London, I was able to support you, guide you, shape you into a fine and productive young man. You have so much potential, so much to offer society.
But that's not the end. Now I found the truth, and it has shattered everything I knew about her, about you, and about myself. I feel unstable because of you. Your actions were not justified. Lying never is.
Oh, grow up, Sherlock. It was a white lie which has as much use in the realm of the interpersonal as the international. It is time you come to accept that some things are bigger than yourself.
Oh, you are full of it. You like to pretend you care about the big picture, but it's just an ego trip. You like knowing more than others. You like greasing palms and rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful. You like having eyes and ears everywhere. The fact it helps the nation is incidental, because all you care about is yourself.
It's true. I have agents everywhere, including Cordona. If you weren't so damn stubborn, you'd realize that means I'm only here for you.
Слоника сюда привезли.
I imagine Goliath was surprised to find out his lady was not real.
Just look at this thing. It's huge. Well done, Sherry. The hall now looks much as it did in our youth. Brings back fond memories.
Ремонт сделали.
I remember returning home with a pair of perfect sticks. We wanted to turn them into training swords.
Oh, that's right. We stood there, frozen, staring at something huge in the main hall. It was a giant aquarium with a living mermaid in it.
Impossible. It must have been something else. Oh, of course, that mortifying hoax presently taking up space in our front yard.
Well, fine. Your memory's better than mine. But I'm sure we started examining it immediately. And someone else was around too.
It was my mother. She asked what I thought of the artifact.
You were really concentrating and holding something in your hand.
I inspected it with a magnifying glass.
And so it was time to smash the thing. Your mother took a hammer and...
Slow down, John. That's not how it happened. I remember other people joined us. The workers took the artifact and placed it into the cabinet of curiosities. It became part of Mother's collection of fakes. She always said that the truth lies in the details. This mermaid helped me to learn that. he used to take a shortcut down the banisters, much to everyone's annoyance.
Oh yeah, what fun. They had to fix these handrails several times. I wouldn't try it now, Sherry, tempting though it is. I can sense an incoming memory. Sherry, do you?
I will need a proper outfit to match this. The first chemical laboratory I ever made. I almost miss its elegant simplicity. I'm looking forward to learning to play it, as soon as I have some free time.
You do miss her.
I do. I was so frustrated to find only one bed in this room. Mycroft initially refused to bring another for you, but after a week-long dispute, he gave in.
What a stubborn man. How well do you think he would sleep without a bed?
Sharp and well balanced, it would be a pity to leave such a tool behind.
Oh, the room looks nice now. It's comforting to see the way it was meant to be.
It reminds me of my mother. My mother always preferred to spend her rare moments of lucidity with me.
That's true. She even stopped Mycroft from joining you. Remember?
I do. He didn't show it, but he was upset. I think Mother paid more attention to me because I was younger.
Красивый дом стал. Так, вот эта комната, по-моему, открылась.
Ah yes,
Да.
my mother's studio. She was an authenticator, and this was her cabinet of curiosities.
I never saw the point. What does it matter if some artifact is real or not? It still exists.
Mother said this was among the hunting trophies of a Scottish Viscount.
So he tried to persuade everyone that
Mother
his
said
forest
this was
was
among the
inhabited
hunting
by these
trophies of a
beasts.
Scottish Viscount.
It would have been thrilling if it were actually true.
The full plate armor of Sir Robert Saunford. I was told my father won it in a wager.
Armor is armor, but look at his sword. Oh, how badly I wanted to wield the blade. Maybe you take it instead of your pistol.
And this one was brought from a German museum. They claimed it belonged to Vikings. Nonsense, of course. Vikings never had horns on their helmets. The so-called mummy of a Persian princess. The defrauders did good work, but missed one small detail. It's the mummy of a man.
Ктулху.
An archaeological find should be here. It's far better than beneath the old city walls. 1852, Bingley, West Yorkshire. This photo caused a lot of fuss. My mother spent some time to prove it was a fake. So many calling cards. Mycroft liked to keep useful people at hand. Reliable and driven, I recognize Mycroft's handwriting. Officer Luciano J. Placido. Carefully opened. Dated 24th of April, 1869. This drawer was always closed. Only Mycroft knew how to open it.
I remember we tried to break it open and spy on him, but alas, had no success. Maybe today's the day. Oh, Sherry.
Ah, the memory comes back. We snuck about watching him.
He closed the drawer and went to the hall. We were like two shadows crawling behind him.
He opened the door to the postman, and they exchanged documents. If it was a real postman, of course. Then he threw some logs into the fire and sat in his armchair to read.
It's as boring now as it was then. I'm sorry, Sherry, but I think that's it.
Wait, John, we never use the fireplace in the mornings. What if... A bit of juniper in the fireplace created a soothing atmosphere. It's the little things, isn't it?
А вот и ключ.
I think this is what we're looking for.
We made it. So what's there?
Dossiers on the most influential people on Cordona. Mycroft always had a habit of building files on everyone he met. Gifted by Queen Victoria herself. Single malt whiskey. Mycroft's favorite. Otto Richter. This one is rather thick. Mycroft can be truly dogged in his research. One of the most ridiculous fakes I ever saw. Its owner insisted it was a polar bear. He thought the white paint on the brown fur wasn't noticeable. I remember this cozy blanket. The was perfect for...
Wigwam! Oh, that was a joy to build them. Imagining ourselves as wayfarers on the other side of the world.
Watkinson and Holman, Chapter One, by Wallace D. Oram.
Oh, Mycroft. He always acts so serious, but then reads tripe like this.
Watkinson.
John, if I remember correctly, you couldn't put this book down. Another fake Holy Grail. Its owner claimed to be the heir of King Arthur. Scarcely believable. He also insisted a deadly rabbit was hunting him.
Вот, пожалуйста, воображаемый друг Джон.
Clearly, it was deliberately torn. I wonder why someone would do that. The Tulpa, Studies in Tibetan Mentalism. An impressive number of bookmarks. Someone was rather obsessed with this subject. I'm starting to remember something.
Look, it's Roger. This jolly old man's well preserved. Even looks refreshed.
I doubt he drew much interest at the auction.
That's for the best. I'd be upset if he fell into the wrong hands.
Oh, I remember these. We used them to spar together until Mycroft found out and forbade us from using real weapons. I used this ladder to look at the top shelf, right? On the day of Mother's breakdown upstairs.
Right you are, Sherry.
We heard a noise. I can't recall of exactly what. And we didn't have a great view from behind the statue. Books and papers from the table somehow ended up on the floor. Now it's coming to the surface. I feel it.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Come on, Sherry. Let's go outside. Wait. Did you hear that? Come here, Sherry.
You call this progress? Charlatan, amateur. I'm not letting you anywhere near my mother again.
So there was a quarrel between them. I heard a noise in the hall. Let's check it out. It's a pity how many amazing things. Is missing from this room. Sherry, look! We've got a parcel here. Hurry up and let's see what's inside. An invitation that comes with a mask. We can't miss this, Sherry.
Mm-hmm. И шо это? Так, у нас появилось что-то новое, да, в магазинах? Ага, смотри.
One man. Take a look. Maybe something will catch your eye.
Бля, это что такое?
I hope you like what you bought.
Buy some clothes and help me feed my family.
Так, раритеты. Купили. Дальше. Сюда.
Extra, extra! Turning a blind. Interested. Check the front. Page. You won't regret it.
Exquisite furniture. My goods will brighten up your house. Enjoy your purchase.
Another knife in the pillar.
Ага, смотри-ка, они про столб с ножами говорят. Как раз мы... испарилось то расследование у нас.
Another.
Да.
Don't miss out. Merhaba. It's a good day for a purchase. May your purchase bring you joy.
Угу, смотри, комнату восстановили. Сейчас посмотрим. По-моему, это вообще последняя комната, кстати, была. Что у меня с плащом?
Now it looks exactly like it was a decade ago. I can almost feel the memories hitting me. What a monstrosity! Where could such a creature even survive? Some light reading for my spare time. Oh, I remember now. I never liked the way the books were sorted on these shelves.
That you didn't. Your brother often struggled to find his reading materials after our visits.
Все. Так, ну вот это надо будет потом сделать еще. Хотя, может быть, сейчас тогда столбом заняться. Карта. Так, это где было? У какого-то моста. Вот, да. Успокойтесь, а. Что вы делаете?
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Sorry, but I never heard of this.
А может вот эти солдаты нам говорят?
That pillar is a damn eyesore. Not for... That pillar is a...
все. Что? Ясно. Так. Торквизлей.
Какой треугольник? А как его поставить? Фу.
How do you do?
Походу сюда. Да.
Welcome, sir. I do hope you...
Enjoy the evening, sir. There is still plenty of time before the grand finale. All right.
What if I write an article about these people here? Can you help me gather information about Cordona's elite?
Excuse me, just one question.
Don't take it personally, sir. But I know nothing about this. I guarantee we'll have a good time.
My goodness, Sherlock, they made a blood fountain.
No, John, it's definitely not blood, just wine. Cahors it, I guess.
I'm a little nervous. Another glass should calm me down.
Oh, I heard the finale will be splendid.
Oh, don't act like you haven't thought about it, darling.
Do you know anything about this?
I'm so sorry. I can't help you, sir.
Oh, don't act like you haven't thought about it,
No one's here before Manchester. You know what's here.
That's what I like about this party. Bring me more dirt, Sherry. One more piece, and I can expose these base head and curtains do not guarantee privacy.
And you
I'm
still
coming,
need a
Sherry.
crack despite being
Just
ethereal.
give me another second.
Excuse me, just one question.
Sorry, but I can't be of help with that, sir.
Don't act like you haven't thought of...
My husband thinks I am playing bridge here.
One of these books must open a secret passage. I know it.
Well-known and recent plays to keep up to date with the current trends. These medieval botany and chemistry books look even more satanic than the occult ones. Romantic poetry and prose. Someone's in touch with their feelings. Codex Orchis. Why does this occult book sound like a flower?
Sherlock! Friend! I wasn't sure you'd come.
Werner, I see you are not yourself.
The more time you spend here in Cordona, the more I feel it my duty to bring you into our world and show you all we have to offer.
And what is on offer today?
Pleasure, indulgence, relief, and relaxation. You've earned some time for yourself, have you not?
Those who know me would say I'm incapable of it.
Nonsense. I refuse to believe there is anyone permitted to know Sherlock Holmes.
Huh. You may be right.
Then free yourself from inhibition and expectation. The night is young, and so are the guests. You should try to enjoy both. It's not healthy for handsome men to spend every night alone, and certainly not in a house filled with such melancholic memories.
I must admit, my travels have proven more taxing than expected. I'm less confident in my life and myself. Time of relaxation seems a distant dream.
So can I tempt you with a physical aid to your moral consolations? There's wine, of course, something to smoke, or perhaps an artificial paradise? Yes, something more spiritual, a potentiator to sharpen the mind. A 7% solution of, well, that'd be telling, but you must try it.
My mind already operates at a far higher level than most. I struggle to believe anything could improve it. My ultimate duty is to provide the world with truth, and I do that perfectly well as is.
Duty? You've never cared about that before.
Of course I do. Exposing a lie, revealing a fact, that is a moral responsibility.
That's not morality. Morals are what happens afterwards when truth collides with consequence. Do you ever follow up on cases you solved? Do you ever see what happened next? Visit the victims? Ensure justice is served in the courts? And how do you choose where to direct your attention? Are there not deserving causes to which your brilliance could be applied but isn't?
You ascribe me more power than I possess. I have a narrow skill set and work within that mandate. What occurs afterward is irrelevant.
With every action or inaction, you place a finger on the scales of morality. Many in the city would see you as abdicating your responsibility.
I haven't.
Not me, of course. Morality is subjective, just like truth. There is little to be gained from indulging in it, and far better things to indulge in. Now I must insist on easing any burdens I've placed upon your shoulders. Show yourself a kindness, and try this rather delectable concoction.
If this solution truly does assist with thinking, then perhaps it would be puerile to overlook an opportunity to study it. I'll take it with me.
Yes, Sherlock. Very good. And now, our evening begins in earnest. I just remembered. I'm sorry, Sherlock. My mind's delightfully impaired. Please take this key. It opens the altar room, past the library.
Pardon? altar room. What now, Werner?
Go quickly and find our Fabio. Only you can make him talk. I'll join you in a minute.
Honey, you feeling lonely? I'll be your
Nancho's had to enforce the masks after the scandal. Nancho's had to enforce.
Ага. 4, то есть улики в этот раз.
Nancho's had to.
I'll pin them down, Biscoop. Thank you, Sherlock.
Угу. Убийство.
My God. Was he here this whole time?
The herbs here are Salvia divinorum. They have a slight hallucinogenic effect to emphasize the ceremony. This elaborate box must be for the ritual dagger. This oil has a slight aroma of flowers and olive. This oil has a slight aroma of flowers and olive. The ointment smells mouse-like. I presume it is an aphrodisiac prepared from a Spanish fly. This one looks like a twisted symbol of Venus, drawn in a hurry. The sign reminds me of the astrological symbol for Mars. A blunt force trauma may have suffered an internal hemorrhage. This crude tattoo partially covers a slave branding. The dagger is heavy and sharp, but lacks balance. This golden handle has a bloodstain on it. This worm-like sigil has been drawn with his own blood. The victim has clenched the fabric so firmly in his fist that it's nigh impossible to remove it. The wound is deep. A precise strike reached the heart. He died right here. similar to the guests' robes, apart from the bloodstains.
Здрасте. Какие дизы?
Handcrafted and luxurious cufflinks. There's also a note. For my Fabio, Manchos. The key is similar to the one that Vogel gave me. The capital F on the key fob might refer to Fabio.
Would you recognize me in one of these? I suppose not.
Не знаю, кто. У меня на всех видосах, короче, по одному дизлайку. Это кто-то специально заходит и ставит. Походу.
A useful tool for a disguise arsenal.
Ничего страшного.
How can anyone accept such behavior?
А, Харинис? Харинис будет, да, скоро. Вот Шерлока чуть допройти осталось, потом буду готику проходить.
Props, decorations, and tools for a more detailed set. The picture is empty, but with puddles around it. Blood clots are adhered to the sides of the drain.
Ага, кто-то здесь мыл после убийства руки, видимо. А вот здесь одежда пропала, которую мы нашли в крови.
Identical to the robes the guests are wearing.
What about a quick pillow fight?
Enough cigars to burn down the entire mansion. Blood.
А вот и
The sturdy
тупой
bottle met a not
предмет.
so sturdy human. It didn't break only because it was unopened.
Бутылкой ударили, значит.
An open wound spoiled the carpet.
Сигарета? А, нет.
Why don't people tidy up after themselves?
Мы его долго ждали, короче, типа, ну, я не могу.
Ой.
The wounded person was here, a bloody handprint on an armchair. A person leaned against the doorframe. They left a smudged trail of blood. There appear to be no further traces leading to the altar. Werner, care to explain what is going on here?
On nights like these, it's not unusual for some attendees to get a little exuberant. It's part of the appeal. Unfortunately, it appears things have gotten out of hand. Yes, some are more prone to bend the rules of morality.
That's murder. I doubt there's anything left to bend. Why did you not tell me immediately? We were chatting about trivial matters for some time.
If I'm completely honest, Sherlock, I've consumed a rather potent cocktail of substances. My attention slips and drifts. But I'm glad I thought to call for you.
You sent me a disguise.
Oh dear, did I? Well, since I found the body, Mr. Manchios has agreed that you can investigate the matter. I promise my mind will behave itself going forward.
All right. And pull yourself together, Werner.
Текс.
What is it about these nights that you were so eager to share with me?
Well, they're not always in the evenings, but they are in the shadows. People gather to test their boundaries in a safe and consensual atmosphere. Often with more stains than your typical crime scene. But that is the point. Who are we to judge?
I suppose that's fair. What about today, then? Was anything different?
Well, I was invited as a special guest. It was supposed to be a time of both divine and carnal pleasures. A scratch for every unconventional itch.
I imagine you're reeling from your shattered expectations.
On the contrary, there is still spectacle, stimulation, and release, merely in a different form. I like to let life entertain me.
Or death.
Чё смешно? Может, на Б сходим?
Mr. Manchos is the owner of the manor, yes?
And the host of Cordona's most memorable parties. He promises even the ugliest guest a partner for the night. And for the ones with more unconventional tastes, Mr. Manchios provides other services.
What a caring person.
You cannot begin to imagine.
How did you discover the body? In between guzzles of alcohol?
I was set to perform in a fecundity rite with Fabio and came to inquire further. It was a staged ritual where he was to play the principle of life.
And the rehearsal was unsuccessful?
Huh. Who knows? I found him alone on the altar, his blood dripping to the floor.
And then?
Then I called Mr. Manchios. He was panicking, so I told him about you. We left the room and locked the door. Then we were...
Filling time?
Waiting for you was stressful. We indulged in some simple comforts. Overindulged, perhaps.
Were you well acquainted with Fabio, the victim?
Everyone knew Fabio, or wanted to. His beauty was the talk of the island. Too handsome to go unnoticed. He was magnetic. Fat wallets fought for the privilege of having him.
What about the fertility ritual? There was something about Fabio being...
Fabio was supposed to portray the beauty of life's origin. Flowers...
So this ritual is not the fertility rite?
It begins with a woman lying naked in a flower bed on the altar. She represents Gaia, the earth. As our calls reach a climax, Fabio enters and copulates with her. After he finishes, I stab her with a dagger. That part's just pretend, of course.
But the...
I did not expect you to be such a prude. Are you a virgin? The fertility rite marks the start of our festivities. The principle of life is...
Yet it appears that someone did stop it.
Oh yes, Matista. She's one of Fabio's compatriots and a...
When you discovered the body, was the door open?
No, it was locked. It's a minor detail, but the first time I came to speak to Fabio, I left without entering. Having been
You...
No, I had it. Don't look at me like that. I was mostly sober. I suspect there was a key in the other side of the door, blocking the lock.
That detail may very well be major, Werner. Well done. So you...
Correct. After an hour had passed...
The police remain...
Some of them may be hiding behind their masks. They conceal many things. But besides, after a few cocktails, their incompetence will have soared...
How do you know I even want the...
I promised you relaxation. If there's one thing I...
So, Sherry, do you have any ideas about the case?
Perhaps. I think I can deduce what happened.
Да, получается вот так ключом. Сейчас закончу эту и пойдем. Так, здесь его ударили бутылкой. Дальше он его потащил. Или нет? Или он сам полз? А, ну да, потому что отпечаток вот так совпадает. убийца, он повесил одежду.
The bottle was used as a weapon during a scuffle in the smoking lounge. Then, to ensure no one would interrupt, the murderer locked the door. The unconscious body of the victim was moved to the altar room. Once the body was on the altar, the murderer thrust the dagger into the victim's heart. Symbols were drawn with the blood. The wardrobe was used to hide the bloodied robe from anyone's eyes. The killer washed himself and took a clean robe from the hanger before leaving.
Are you all right? You're on the floor, not moving.
I think I know what happened here.
Ну да, это вряд ли был ритуал.
I'm starting to put the pieces together.
Fabio was stabbed.
I see nothing gets past you, Werner. Yes, he was stabbed, but only after... Here, I do not yet know why.
So, who's responsible?
Well, it was one person working alone, and the murderer has now donned a robe. He or she could be hiding in plain sight. We have lost time, Werner, but your discretion may prove to be a benediction after all. The murderer had to have access to this room. After the crime, he used his own key to lock the door. So, who had the key to the altar room?
I'm not sure. As a special guest, I was provided one by Mr. Manchios. He should be able to tell you of any others.
Where can I find him?
Most likely in the main hall, entertaining his guests. He has a mask with golden stars. You can't miss him. But please be discreet. We don't... I know you can untangle this mess.
Так, потом тогда продолжим. Давайте, до свидания.